Why mediation? Why negotiation? Why has this been where you have chosen to spend your career? What brought you into the field?
I'd like to think it was very strategic, but I actually think I'm not fit for anything else.
Okay.
It's actually, like I think so many of our colleagues, it's serendipitous. I studied a lot about conflict and conflict theory when I was in graduate school, quite intrigued by that. Social change issues, behavioral change issues. I was always intellectually interested in this kind of funny polarity between, sort of change and stability. And so I was quite intrigued by that in graduate school. I finished my PhD, and I decided very clearly after I finished my PhD I did not want to be an academic. I missed the world of action. I missed the sort of hands-on things. Didn't know what I did want to do. I knew what I didn't want to do. Spent a couple years, sort of fell into it, working in an Outward Bound program with quite a stupendous group of people. And that was actually where I got my first training in what we would call mediation. Except it wasn't in mediation. It was in ho'oponopono, which is a traditional Hawaiian native practice of restoring harmony in the extended family. So my training really wasn't in mediation. It came out of from some native practitioners in Hawaii.
Well, connect that with the Outward Bound. I want to make sure.
Well, that training actually took place in the Outward Bound schools.
I see.
And we used those practices on some of the courses we did with executives and with women's courses and men's courses. We had a fairly large curriculum, and we wanted to have a conflict resolution piece in there. If we were, when we were out on expeditions for 24 days, a lot of social dynamics, psychological dynamics, relationship issues.
Conflict.
Lots of conflict. And not the least of which was between the group, but also between the group and certain challenges. And one of the things that we had to teach people was that nature doesn't negotiate. There is no negotiating with nature. It is what it is. You adjust. But working in a group and accomplishing sometimes fairly dangerous activities in which safety was at a premium required a group working together cohesively. And anything that got in the way of that safety was a problem. So we taught and used this ho'oponopono method on the courses. We taught it in the very early days of a course, and we used it through the course.
So did you know it was called mediation at the time you were doing it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't called mediation. And when I left the Outward Bound program, I actually sort of fell into the position of executive director of the first community mediation program. And I responded to the ad, I talked to people, and they were looking for their first director. And I looked at that and said, I can do that. I can do this. I mean, I've worked on some far more challenging things that were going on in the mediation center. So that's how I wound up down this mediation track.